let me pull one up. Let's pull the receipts. Okay, so it says here, quote, "The conservative podcast gotta be a joke. I don't know how Miss Conservative can show her face on campus." And this is actually, this is bizarre.
The first GOP speaker of the year, a pro-life speaker, so it'll be great. We're very excited, and we'll actually let you know if that gets shut down too. Yeah,
It might.
yeah, stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our first episode of Beyond the Ballot. I'm Mariana Zeldin.
And I'm Ella Bruno.
The reason why I started this political podcast here at WashU was because I felt there was a need for a large conservative voice presence here on campus due to that there's such a minority of them. And I was so encouraged and inspired by Ella's political activism and voice here, and it prompted me to ask her to be my co-host for this podcast.
Yeah, I was really surprised whenever Ariana asked me to co-host this podcast with her due to the political climate here at WashU. It can definitely seem like it's an echo chamber here, when in reality there's not a majority of radically left-leaning students here at WashU, but when they're the only ones speaking up, it can be hard to know that anyone thinks differently than them. But that's why we created Beyond the Ballot, and we're excited to see where it takes off.
Yeah.
Speaking of political climate, coming to university was definitely a big transition for me, especially because I'm from a small town in rural Missouri where everyone is generally both Christian and conservative. And so when I came to WashU, I didn't know that, in a sense, my beliefs were not going to be welcome. But I believe you had a different experience.
Yeah, so actually I grew up in a town in Long Island, New York, and we've always been surrounded by strong Democrats and strong Republicans. So it was never much of political transition once I got here, even though there are more liberals here. It's just something that I was used to. It was my regular. But it wasn't really that much of a transition. But I believe you had a different experience freshman year?
Yeah, during my freshman year, I was never really vocal until towards the end of it. So I received an internship in Washington, D.C. with Senator Hawley, and over the summer I really learned how to be confident in my beliefs and know that it's okay to stand up for what I believe in. And, speaking of respectable politicians, what core values has your dad instilled into you?
Yeah, so, growing up in a political household, it's always been a regular to just speak your beliefs. But also, he's always taught me that if you want something, you have to work at it. You have to work hard for it. Nothing is earned. It's all you. And that is a mentality that he has instilled into me, which is also definitely fueled my confidence for my political activism. And I believe now is our time.
For those of you who don't know, Ariana's dad is a member of Trump's cabinet, and he was selected to lead the EPA. Shout out, Mr. Zeldin.
Shout out, Dad. Great. So since the election, I haven't seen much hate on campus. It was more so during and a little bit of the aftermath. During the election, Democrats were posting on their social medias they're voting for Kamala, all support for her, and even then there was support for Trump here on campus. I had friends who posted that they were voting for Trump, and people would unfollow them, comment hateful things. And it's just what in the world is happening? Also we've seen professors and students canceling and skipping classes because Trump got elected. And, this never would have happened it never would have happened if Kamala got elected.
Yeah, I think it's funny how people are encouraged to express their identities on campus, but whenever a conservative does so, they're labeled as an extremist. For example, Election Day. Everyone was posting who they wanted for president, and so I obviously posted Trump. And I got so many messages and comments telling me how terrible of a person I was, and left-leaning individuals were using Bible verses out of context to try to silence individuals on my page.
That's oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. As someone who doesn't have social media personally, it's so easy to hide behind a screen, right? And side chat, for example, it's an anonymous platform, so it is the way to hide behind a screen. And have you seen the misconservative messages on there? Hold on. Let me pull one up. Let's pull the receipts. Okay, so it says here, quote, "The conservative podcast gotta be a joke. I don't know how Miss Conservative can show her face on campus." This is actually, this is bizarre.
I don't really know how to respond to this, but let me tell you, if I was Miss Left-Leaning, girl boss, feminist, Kamala lover, I would be idolized by everyone and their mom.
And their mom. Yeah,
And their mom.
100%. It's like, have you seen, like, the one message where someone used the label of Miss Conservative as a Republican message?
Yeah, it's almost like they're using that as a way to, like, use their voice.
Yeah.
Well, in all reality, I'm not on side chat a lot, but I did wake up a couple days ago to multiple texts from my friends with screenshots of many posts with Miss Conservative on it. And, but yeah, and over time on campus, I've learned to almost embrace the hate. I've been rejected from many clubs, many groups because I was conservative. And I didn't even display those ideals. They just knew it from either past internships, past posts on Instagram. For example, I rushed for the pre-law frat Phi Delta Phi, and I was rejected immediately. And I heard from an exec member, it got told to me that they said I was not welcome because my conservative beliefs, and even though diversity is such a big deal, they didn't want that kind of diversity on campus. But I have used experiences like this as motivation and fuel for our mission. It has been a long time coming, though. I used to get really worked up about things like this. For example, 6 months ago, if I would have seen something about Miss Conservative on side chat, I would have been worked up and super nervous. But over time, I've slowly overcome this, whether, like, for example, if I'm targeted in class by my professors or fellow students, it doesn't bother me like it used to.
And it's really good, like, you've learned how to overcome that. Because, I mean, for me, like, growing up in a political household, I was bombarded by Democrats since middle school. So, like, as a 10-year-old, it's not fun
not
to...
ideal.
It's not ideal to have that, like, given to you. But as you go along, you learn that you can't let it get to you. You have to embrace it and overcome that, because at the end of the day, you can't let someone's political ideology get in the way of your own, because it will only just hurt you more. And I mean, this is only the beginning.
This is only the beginning. And now for one of my most favorite topics, Turning Point USA. Just to be clear, I am your WashU TPUSA president.
And I am your TPUSA vice president.
Ironic, huh? The two people that run Beyond the Ballot also run TPUSA.
No one would have guessed.
No one would have guessed. But we actually have a lot to talk about regarding this topic.
We do. Just a preface, we did have a Turning Point chapter here on campus about 6 years ago. But it did get dismantled because it was too close to the College Republicans Club we do have here on campus.
Yeah, so regarding TPUSA, everything was going according to plan. I was having meetings with Campus Life, and they told us that we could operate as a branch of the GOP. I then emailed the whole political science department and asked for a staff or faculty sponsor. Crickets. No one wanted any part of it, and that's fine. But somehow we did end up getting to table.
Yeah, for one day.
2 hours, actually.
Yes, indeed. About tabling, it was fun. We did have conservative support that were very supportive of Turning Point and for the cause that Turning Point stands for. But also, we did get some hate.
Just a little bit.
just a little bit, actually, yeah. The first 15 minutes, we were called fascists. And then we also got approached by a staff member here and was debating on our values and what we stand for.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and then walked into Campus Life, and then randomly after that, I'll just let you say it, but...
we got shut down.
We were not wanted back.
No. Yeah. That didn't go well.
Yeah. But good news, we are planning on having a speaker on campus. The first GOP speaker of the year, a pro-life speaker. So it'll be great. We're very excited, and we'll actually let you know if that gets shut down too. Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Okay,
This podcast is aimed to give a voice to conservatives at WashU who might not be as vocal as us. This is one of our shorter episodes and is just a get to know us episode.
Yeah, and if you have any insights on what we should do, what we should talk about, what you guys want to listen to, please DM us in our Instagram or comment down below.
And tune in next time for Beyond the Ballot, episode 2.
I'm Ariana Zeldin.
And I'm Ella Bruno.
Signing off.
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation going under.